Alright, on a side note, if you are dealing with some strategic racism and you're not having fun with anything that's been going on in the world and you want to change religion, feel free to change religion and explore. I personally did. I went from being Muslim, born and raised, and now I'm currently something else that I don't want to talk about because I'm still discovering it. And anyway, I changed my name and everything. And if this video interests you, please be sure to look for the rest of the video and hit the like and comment and tell me what you think about it. Alright, see ya. A couple of things that may be of interest to you or may not be of interest to you. They go on about how there are small pockets of communities or conquerors who have ancestral backgrounds to conquest, such as British, the Arabs, China, whoever has conquered someone, because obviously where I come from, we never really conquered anyone but our own people. So this goes into conquesting someone else from a different race, and I think it's a huge topic of misunderstanding when it comes to today's time and learning about this. And I want to talk about how learning about this could affect your perception on just other people doing things that are normally attributed to doing something normally for themselves without coming off as aggressive, passive aggressive, or having some innuendos, some silver linings, some hidden ideas and ideologies that might affect your productivity wherever you may be. Now today we have invented as humans the social media concept of the internet and handheld devices throughout the world where we can take pictures, share, and instantly post on our social media devices, applications that are giving us a lot of productivity and growth. Now, historically, before all the social media came out, I was at a perplexing attribute where my self-pride would be within me knowing that the historical context of myself would be that the nicest group of people who never really conquered anyone but their own group of people. And I had some pride being Asian for that reason, because of the food and culture, the religion that we had, and it gave us some sense of hope. But now that there's social media out there, a lot of this stuff is being either transmitted in schools or other places where they are learning about historical context. It's giving us a little bit of promiscuity, and we're unable to understand anything. So if you like this topic, make sure you like and subscribe for more. I think I'll produce more topics like this, a little bit historical from educational prospects that I learned from the USA as a immigrant, first generation immigrant child. I was born here. Now I want to talk about how having these concepts of these his conquesting people have their social media available to them, and their ancestral backgrounds or the hundreds of years that they've been alive for, passing down generation to generation, has some hidden attributes of simply not giving a shit about whatever the hell people that they've been conquered, the people that have been conquered are not going to get. So you might think the USA is a big ally. I'm sure they're a big ally today, but if you bring up some historical context of groups of people, what happened to them, you might know that a lot of people have been through shit and a lot of people have been through hell. So the conquest part about, let's say the Arabs have conquered India for a long time and are still on their regime of conquest from the Ottoman Empire. They've had war elephants from India because there's no other thing like Indian elephant in Africa, and they don't have African war elephants, I suppose, because a lot of the Indians use war elephants. That's one thing that I was really proud of when I was younger, and the curry that I used to eat. So if you think about today, they have a lot of different countries in the Middle East, and there's really good ones out there like the UAE, Saudi Arabia, which are really prime examples of what you want to think about the religion, the culture over there. And then there's other groups of people like Lebanon, Israel, which are also really good groups of people. But then there's other groups of people who just invoke terror, and they incite terror with their lack of infrastructure, their lack of money, their lack of education, and lack of resources.
I'm not going to mention who, but it's mostly the eastern part of the Middle East, which is really sort of racist against Indian people, and they don't like the skin color. They saw the child birth rate of Arab and Indian children. They don't really like it, and I think it just is really ridiculous for them to be talking about something like that in the first place. No one really cares. It's honestly just making sure that you stick it in to her genitals and you are enjoying it and you have done it before. But there's a lot of people out there now that there's rise in feminism who just won't even get to understand feminism because it's so complex and very difficult to achieve a goal like that without getting married. Now, if you have this whole context of when you learned it from in school that you are a conquered nation by the British, or a conquered nation by the Arabs, or a conquered nation by the Chinese or the Japanese, or a conquered nation by the US, you sort of have this underlying feeling of resentment and hate, and you're unable to achieve productivity. And when you get older, you're unable to correlate your causations of facts and work objectives properly to achieve societal goals because you learned about this in school or you learned about this from a friend. Now, the only way to combat this is to, I think, write it down and forget about it. And that's what I think. Now, if you like this video, give me a like and comment. Okay, back. Make sure you do like and subscribe because someone was at the door. Anyway, I fixed the camera. I want to talk about how these groups of people who have never been conquered have this whole audacity, this whole agenda, this whole demeanor of being really pugnacious, belligerent, or warlike, or inclined to fight because of their historical context and who's been passing down the information. Now, the United States of America has their nose in everyone's business throughout the world, so that this particularly doesn't happen and we thrive and pursue a big future without colonization, conquest, and war. Now, the innovation that we are dealing with today are solely for the fact that we don't deal with conquest and war, and everyone is shared in this massive global economy for everyone's well-being. Because if you really think about all the texts and artifacts that have been developed without being destroyed, because there have been artifacts and texts that have been destroyed by conquerors, we all come to the conclusion that we can just read and write, sell and buy without going to war and have a good living. Some people achieve it through democracy and capitalism. Some people achieve it through communism. Hey, whatever works for you guys, it's working. But sometimes people just conflict with each other and they end up being conquerors. And people expose hidden attributes of people who are hiding the advantageous results of their conquest, of their ambition. Anyway, if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one.